First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Nicole Carey. On this episode, we'll catch up with Vincennes Mayor Joe Yochum to review how 2024 went for the city, as well as what's being planned for the new year. We'll tag along as many local kids' Christmas wishes come true, thanks to Shop with a Cop. 'Tis the season for all the decorations, but are you sure your holiday spirit isn't putting your home in jeopardy? We'll find out what to look for where holiday safety is concerned. We'll revisit the history of the Red Kettle campaign as the Salvation Army calls for more volunteers and donations to help those in need. And we'll journey along the Parade of Lights in downtown Vincennes as part of our own collaboration with the Knox County Community Learning Kitchen for a holiday giveaway. Don't go anywhere because First City Focus starts right now. As we wind down 2024, the City of Vincennes has wrapped up some major projects while also starting some new ventures. Here to discuss all things City of Vincennes is Mayor Joe Yochum. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So believe it or not, 2024, it's coming to a close. When you take a broad look over the last year, what stands out to you?
It's really been an extremely busy year. We've had several projects start through our HELP designation, and that's probably the biggest things going on. But we also completed a major road project that I know a lot of people are happy that it's completed.
That's right, that's right. Well, when we talk about the HELP initiative, the Hoosiers Enduring Legacy program, that has really, especially here at the end of the year, we've seen a great benefit in free public transportation. Yes. And how cute the buses are designed as a trolley.
Right.
So take us through the concept of that idea and seeing it come to fruition.
This, the HELP program actually started probably 2.5 years ago, and we did our public meetings, and out of those public meetings came, they wanted to see transportation, childcare, and something for youth. Well, the trolley system came out of that, and working with Van Gogh, they came up with the thought that we need to buy a trolley. I thought, well, we're maybe eventually get a trolley, but let's start smaller with your smaller, and they just had it designed to look like a trolley, and I think it looks great.
Absolutely. So as we're recording this, we're a couple weeks into it actually being operational, running the city routes. What kind of feedback have you gotten so far?
I have gotten a lot of great feedback. I know we're averaging 50 to 70 riders a day,
wow,
which I think is great.
Yeah.
I've had 2 businesses tell me that they are so excited that we have that in place because their employees don't have vehicles. They normally walk to work, but now they can ride a trolley. So it sounds like it's doing exactly what we want it to do, to help the citizens get around about Vincennes, and our thing says your view to the city. So you can get on there and drive right around.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know I walked out of Walmart one day and there it was, and I thought, you know what, I might just jump on and go for a ride. But when we talk about the stops, what was integral in deciding where it would stop throughout the city?
Of course, we had a consultant that we had to deal with, but we drove the city, they drove the city, and obviously we want to stop at where people shop, the grocery stores, as well as the hospital and the doctor's office, the clinic on First Street, VU for those students, because there's probably a lot of students that don't have vehicles. And it was just places, plus mainly the housing authority properties where we knew more likely that people would use it there than. So There's 53 stops. You can pretty much about get anywhere. And we're going to add and probably subtract a few.
Once you figure out what's
Right,
working, what's
yes,
needed.
Yes. Of course, one of the busiest stops is Walmart.
Right.
But I'm excited to see the public use that, because if it's not used, it's one of those things, if it's not used, it'll go away. We can't invest upwards of $200,000 a year if only a couple people are going to ride that.
Right.
So, but I'm excited to see there's 50 to 7 people a day. And I'm hoping when warmer weather gets here,
Right.
The ridership will pick up.
Absolutely. Well, I know you alluded to it earlier, Washington Avenue, that road project. It was a great undertaking.
Yes.
Caused, a major detour in the city.
Right.
But now that it's done, I think you could say it was well worth it.
I will tell you as well, and I think anybody that travels that will say, and I've got several compliments on it, that that's great out there. The bike lanes, the sidewalks, the new crosswalk there at the Heights. So I know through the whole process, because it was over a year, if you remember, we did phase 1,
Right.
which was one side of the bridge, and then did the next phase later. It was a big inconvenience for a lot of people.
Right, because you're talking an area from Bell Crossing all the way past Gregg Park.
Yes,
It's a major thoroughfare.
And if you think about the residents that live out beyond, there's a lot
Right.
of residential area out there that's how they traveled into Vincennes. And I know it was a huge, huge inconvenience, but I appreciate all of their understanding, and we're through this, and
Yeah.
I hope they enjoy what they see and enjoy their easy route back
Right.
into town.
Well, and I know it's one of my routes in and
Yes.
out of town that I've been in a habit of not taking it, and I have to remind myself, I haven't been by yet. I'm going to make it a plan
Yes.
today. I'm going to go home that way. But no, I've seen the pictures and everything, and it just looks nice, and especially when we see football season come back around,
Right.
That's going to be a great finish.
And that's one of the questions I had about that is, there's always been parking on
Right.
Washington Avenue. Well, now it's striped parking.
I don't think
People are
anyone,
like,
I think a lot of people didn't realize that
Yes.
though, because that was one
Yes.
astonishment you saw. It was like, what do you mean there's parking spaces?
Yeah, there's always been parking. But now that the bike lanes have been striped, it's
Yeah.
makes it, I guess, more noticeable.
Yeah. Another road project, I know it got mixed reviews when it was happening, but I would say it works. Hart Street Road Diet.
It works amazingly.
Mm-hmm.
It is. There was a lot of negative about it when we were doing that, and I can tell you it kind of came about quick, but not quick.
Right.
The city engineer said we need to look at doing that, and I'm like, you're going to make a lot of people mad. Well, then we met with NDOT, and they're getting ready to do a project, and they showed me all the statistics on that, and I'm like, we have to do this because we have 12, 15 wrecks a year,
Right.
and that's like a 4 or 5 block area. Nowhere else in Vincennes are
It was a
many
mini
wrecks.
freeway.
Yes, yes. So, but since then, I think we've had one accident, and that's because of the geese.
Oh,
Somebody
absolutely.
slammed on their brakes, did not hit the geese, and the person behind hit them. So, other than that, the accidents have been eliminated.
Yeah. And I think change is hard,
It is.
but once you see the change and see that it actually works very well, I think everyone's okay with it.
I've had several people come and say, you know what? I was like, no way, you can't do that, you can't do that. But since it's happened, they said, I will have to admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
That works great. So
Maybe we need an overpass for the geese.
that's it.
Well, and I know you mentioned it, Willow Street
Yes.
is what the state is going to be working on
Right.
here in the near future.
in
So
next spring.
more change.
And it will be the same. It'll be a road diet. The
A
good
major
thing,
thoroughfare coming into the
yes.
city.
And if you drive Willow Street a lot, you know those lanes are narrow.
Right.
They really are. It's kind of tough to get 2 vehicles.
Absolutely.
So this will just basically make it safer travels through
Absolutely.
there. So I understand, completely understand why they're doing that.
Yeah. I know also another project coming up, thanks to some grant funding, is a new inclusive playground at Gregg Park.
Yes, we've got the target lasting change through the community foundation,
Yeah.
$100,000. I've put an additional $200,000 in next year's budget to go with that. And even though I know that $300,000 isn't going to get it completed,
Right.
at least we can get it started and keep adding to it yearly. But it's going to be, I'll say, more modern play equipment,
Right.
and it'll be all inclusive with ADA compliant and stuff. So I'm really excited about that.
We've seen that recently over at Washington, because I think a lot of people think, oh, inclusive. No, this is an absolute,
Right.
no matter if you're in a wheelchair
Right.
or what, you'll be able
You'll
to
be able
use.
to use. If you've ever been to Bloomington to the Switchyard Park, I'm hoping to kind of be like that. My granddaughters lived up for a little while, and they absolutely loved that park. And I thought, we need to start updating our
That's
parks
right.
to that.
Yeah.
So
And speaking of other parks, the skate park,
it's,
that was a big undertaking, and,
Yes.
and I know it's being used.
that took about 5 years,
Yeah.
but it's completed and it's used every day. And it's just not kids; it's young adults get out there and do that.
Right.
So, and I'm told through the older skaters that eventually there'll be like types of tournaments held there. So
The
I'm excited
Vincennes
about that.
X Games.
That's it. But
right.
I'm glad to see that they're using it and enjoying it. And of course, we took the input from all the skaters that would come to the meetings and incorporated all that into it. So it's the first park was great,
Right.
But you don't realize that park was 20 years old.
Time flies.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was Mayor Mooney that put
Oh,
that in
gosh,
place.
Yeah.
So that's been a little while. So now we've got a more up to date and
Great outdoor recreational
Yes,
area. It's a
yes.
great workout.
you won't
I don't
see
trust
me on
myself to
a
skateboard.
Yeah.
I like not having broken
Right.
bones, but well, Mayor, when you look at the year coming up, what are you excited about? What are you maybe concerned about?
I don't know that I really have any concerns. We've got a funded budget next year with the new playground equipment. I'm excited to see how well the trolley system works, and hopefully ridership picks up. But we've also got a couple road paving projects that will affect everybody.
Yeah.
One of them being Main Street. From 7th to 1st, we will be repaving that, but the block between 6th and 7th, if you've driven down it lately, it's a washboard. And that's
Okay.
because the old trolley tracks are under there. So we've got to completely dig that up and redo it. So that's probably the biggest project that will affect the public next year is that. And you'll see Main Street, it won't be a two-lane Main Street. We will not stripe the middle anymore. It's not wide enough for two vehicles, so it'll be single lane with parking on both sides.
I think that's
yes.
probably a good idea. I
It's-
think you'll find a lot of favor with that.
Yes, it's, and then other things, basically, next year you'll see the police department get several new police vehicles. And the other departments will get their equipment because we just finished our general obligation bond. We just got it through. Matter of fact, the money was deposited today. So
Yeah.
we'll start buying the police cars, and the street department will get the equipment they need, and so.
Okay. Sounds like it's going to be a busy year as usual. There's always plenty of work
yes.
to be done.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
All right, thank you.
You can keep up with Vincennes happenings by following the city website, the app, or the mayor's Facebook page. We have those links for you on our website, vincennes.pbs.org. Well, an annual tradition for Christmas puts smiles on the faces of many area kids. Shop with a Cop helps make the holiday season brighter for many families. Tessa Haig shows us how this year's event spread that Christmas cheer.
Oh, they love it. They were so excited this morning to come and see Santa Claus.
Joy, joy knowing that she's going to have a good Christmas this year. It's going to be good for her. She's got, you know, a new coat and some toys that she's going to be able to enjoy for several years.
But just to see all the kids happy and being happy that they getting things for Christmas was a good thing to experience.
I think it kind of helps bridge the gap a little bit. They can see, you know, somebody that's younger working with the cops as well to kind of create a better positive impact with the younger kids as well.
I was actually on the phone with my mom last night and she said, "Are you going to do this again?" I was like, "I will do it again today if I need to."
Donations are accepted year-round for the Shop with a Cop program. You can find out how to donate on our website. With all the decorating that makes this time of year special, the need to remind folks of safety precautions to observe also takes a front row. Allison Bowers explains how to keep your holiday decorations from causing more harm than good.
Winter holidays are a time for family and friends to get together, but it also is an increased risk for fire. So anytime you're decorating for the Christmas holidays and hanging Christmas lights, be sure to inspect those lights. Look for any broken cords or worn cords and loose bulbs. And if you notice any of that, go ahead and replace those. It's good to avoid using power strips for plugging in Christmas lights. Use proper extension cords that are rated, you know, whether it be outdoor or indoor, and plugging directly into the outlet is always a better option. So for the families that have the tradition of getting a real Christmas tree, or for the families wanting to start the tradition of a real Christmas tree, it's important to, when you're picking out the Christmas tree, to get one that is fresh, make sure it's green, and when you check the needles on the Christmas tree, be sure that they do not fall off when you touch them. The real Christmas trees, the problem is they dry out if you do not water them daily, so be sure you're watering those trees daily, and if you notice it to start drying out, it's good to dispose of those. Yeah, keep all candles, any kind of heat source away from your Christmas trees, whether that be, like you said, a candle or a heater, your fireplace. You need to keep a safe distance away from any decorations. And always keep your decorations out of your exit path, so whether it be a door or a window, keep it clear of those.
It's important to not only keep your home's safety in mind this holiday season, but also the planet's health and safety.
Here at the district, we try to be an outlet for all of our holiday waste. We take the usuals after you wrap all your gifts, obviously the tubes that are left inside, cardboard, paper, all of those things. So Christmas trees are a little trickier. You know, obviously they're big, they're bulky, they're hard to deal with. So if you have a pre-lit Christmas tree, that's a brand new thing that we're able to take this year. So if it's a pre-lit Christmas tree, the lights stop working. Before you would just have to throw them in the trash, but luckily this year our vendor is able to take them for recycling as part of the Christmas lights and the e-waste program as well. Number one question we get at the holiday time is, what do we do with all these batteries? So we take any kind of rechargeable battery. They are a fire hazard, and so we want to make sure that we're disposing of those properly. If you put them in your garbage, a lot of times that is what causes a trash fire with the trash truck and on the way to the landfill. If it's alkaline, it's safe for the trash. Anything other than alkaline, you'd want to bring it to our recycling center.
For First City Focus and photojournalist Marianne McDaniel, I'm Allison Bowers.
To find out more about what can be recycled or disposed of carefully, you can follow a link we have on our website, vincenneспbs.org. And now we revisit a story we brought you a couple of years ago, but it still rings true today. The Salvation Army serves people in need year-round, but during the Christmas season, those little red kettles are known well, with that synonymous bell ringing filling the air. Donations are down this year, as well as volunteer hours. Dave Foster shares with us now the history of the Red Kettle campaign and the Salvation Army's mission to help make a difference.
It was in 1852 in England when Methodist minister William Booth began reaching out to people who didn't attend traditional church, and some of whom at the time wouldn't have been welcome in church because of their looks or lifestyle or because they were poor and destitute. He was ridiculed for his actions, so he left conventional ministry. Captain Carla Salisbury with the Vincennes Salvation Army Corps says that's when, in 1865, Booth and his family began what became known as the Christian Mission.
They began to do church services on the streets, took church to the people, but they began to notice that a lot of people, it was hard for them to pay attention to the church services, and they realized that it's hard to listen when your stomach's growling, or if you haven't had a bath in a month. It's hard to really concentrate on church when you have these physical needs that are unmet. So from that, they began to do kind of social service work. His motto became Soup, Soap, and Salvation.
Within 10 years, Booth had 1,000 volunteers. His movement was later renamed from the Christian Mission to the Salvation Army, and its workers became known as Salvationists. And over the next century, the Army spread across the world. The Vincennes Salvation Army opened in 1907. Captain Salisbury has been leading the local corps and chapel for 2 years. She's a fifth-generation Salvationist, and she says the mission of helping everyone continues, no matter who they are, how they are, or where they are in life.
It doesn't matter the color of their skin, their walk of life, none of that matters if they're in need. They're someone who is loved by God, and we will serve them without discrimination, and because we serve Him.
Feeding, clothing, counseling, and pastoring people is not cheap, so the Salvation Army relies on donations from business, industry, groups, churches, and individuals. And these days, around 50% of the budget in Vincennes comes from their Christmastime Red Kettle campaign. That part of the Salvation Army was started in San Francisco, California, by Salvation Army Captain Joseph McPhee. In December of 1891, he wanted to do something to provide a meal to families in his community.
In Liverpool, there was a big cauldron that was placed out at one of the shipping docks for people to drop donations in for that same purpose, to help the needy in the community. So his mind went back to that, and he thought, maybe I could do something like that here in San Francisco. So he put a big cauldron out at one of the shipping docks in San Francisco to collect donations, just to provide money to support the needy families in his community for Christmas.
The campaign was very successful, and later, when Captain McPhee got transferred to the eastern U.S., he took his kettle with him, and 6 years after it started, Red Kettle Cash was providing hundreds of thousands of Christmas dinners. Now the Red Kettle campaign is in most of the 133 countries where the Salvation Army operates, and it assists over 4.5 million people during the holiday season in the U.S. alone. The Salvation Army mission not only takes money, it takes volunteers. Julie Allen is the Vincennes Salvation Army Administrative Assistant. She started out as a volunteer in 2014.
Because when I was a younger girl, the Salvation Army always gave to my family. And when I came here and did just some volunteer work, I really liked the church. And so I joined the church and continued to volunteer.
The Vincennes Corps has at least 4 to 5 volunteers helping out a day, sometimes more, and they're always needing help.
We need people to help in the pantry. We need people to help clean. We need people to help ring bells at Christmas. So it's very important for us to stay active and to be able to help people.
Captain Salisbury knows all too well what it means to need help. She grew up in the church and has spent her life serving in the Corps, but she's not immune to life's hardships. She says she's been abandoned and divorced and has raised children on her own.
When I see families struggling, they're working hard, trying to make ends meet, and just situations come up. A car breaks down, or they have a fire, or something that really just sets them back, and they really are trying their best to do it on their own, and they hate to ask. Making that ask is the hardest thing for them to do, but ultimately they have to kind of swallow their pride and make that ask. Those are the ones that really tug at my heart, because I've been there. I've been in their situation.
Local Salvation Army soldiers and volunteers are urging you, when you see that red kettle and that shivering bell ringer outside the store this season, to remember that there are those who rely on the jingling of the bells and clanging of the change in the kettle at Christmas to get through a tough time, no matter what time of year. And you're encouraged to think about doing more than just giving money. By a simple phone call or filling out an online form, you can be part of the Salvation Army history and legacy of meeting basic human needs in your community by volunteering. For First City Focus and photojournalist Dave Novak, I'm Dave Foster.
You can find out more about how to help or donate by visiting salvationarmyindiana.org. And now for our final focus. The Parade of Lights in downtown Vincennes is always a popular event to help kick off the Christmas season. This year, we teamed up with the Knox County Community Learning Kitchen and Cookie Monster to hand out not candy, but oranges and potatoes. It was all in an effort to promote healthy snacks this holiday season, complete with a holiday giveaway to help in that mission in the kitchen. Take a look. What a fun time we had. And we want to say congratulations to our 3 prize winners from the contest. We have those winners listed on our website, where you can also learn more about our collaboration with the Community Learning Kitchen. It's all on our website. And that's all for this edition of First City Focus. For everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Nicole Carey. We want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We hope you enjoy spending extra time with family and friends this holiday season. We will see you again next year.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities, online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future, before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence, promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.